Suspects in the murder of two Mississippi police officers will be in court. First appearance today. A vigil, meanwhile, planned for the officers Benjamin Dean and LaCorey Tate, both shot and killed after a traffic stop in Hattiesburg Saturday night. 4 people now charged in their deaths, including 2 brothers. To date, 40 police officers so far in 2015 have been killed. Former New York Police Commissioner Howard Safir blaming Eric Holder in part.
Eric Holder, the previous Attorney General, had a war on police. He spent more time investigating police departments than he did investigating criminals.
Long statement there. Rod Wheeler, former D.C. homicide detective and Fox News contributor. And Rod, good morning to you.
Good morning, Bill.
A war on police. Holder is the problem. Spent more time investigating the police than he did the criminals. Did you see it that way?
You know, I did see it that way to a certain degree. I mean, look at it from this perspective, Bill. You know, the Justice Department sent 3 representatives to the funeral of Freddie Gray, and that was the young man that had the altercation with the Baltimore police that led to the riots. The Justice Department sent 3 representatives to his funeral. Guess how many representatives they sent to the funeral of Officer Moore, the young police officer that was gunned down in New York City last week? 0. None. No one from the Justice Department showed up. What kind of message, Bill, does that send to the American policing and to the American citizens? It sends a strong message.
I think you're right about that. You know, Rod, you know what also you have? I mean, thousands that turned out for Brian Moore's funeral over the weekend here in New York. We found this on Facebook over the weekend. This is from somebody online by the name of Sierra, and they heard about the news in Mississippi. And this is what it says. 2 police officers shot in Hattiesburg tonight. Got them. And I know from your reporting in Baltimore and being down there covering that story, there seems like there's 2 different conversations happening in America. There's one in the cities and arguably in the inner cities, and there's one everywhere else. Do you see it that way?
I do see it that way, Bill, but the question, I think the better question is, why is it 2 different conversations? Why is it, Bill, that our federal government and some of these local officials, why is it that they want to reform the police department instead of trying to get the community to comply with the laws that's already on the books? Real quickly, let's face it, last week right here in Washington, D.C., one of our council people enacted legislation for the Police Reform Act to try to put the handcuffs on police officers. I have not heard, Bill, of an act or a bill yet that talks about police support the police. Nothing like that. So what kind of message is being sent here? And as a result of all of this, we see criminals becoming more and more violent and hostile towards police officers on the street. The question is, how much does the community want us to do our jobs?
Well, you can go online and find a lot more than the one we quoted too, by the way, and I know you're aware of that. Back to Safir, the former police commissioner in New York. He said Loretta Lynch is a good lady and she is fair and honest. Is she the one who will help restore faith in policing, as Safir hopes and says?
Well, let me put it like this. Time will tell. You know, how much support will Loretta Lynch give to her law enforcement officers? She's the top law enforcement officer as the prosecutor here in the United States. She's the top law enforcement officer. How much will she support our police officers on the street? Police officers on the street these days, Bill, as you know as well as I, they're under a lot of pressure, a lot of political pressure to do their jobs. They're trying to do their jobs right. They don't have the support of the politicians, and it's time that we as a community come together and support these officers.
We will watch her words closely. Thank you, Rod. Rod Wheeler there in Washington.